Hello and welcome to the River and Row Museum's very first afternoon tea with the Curator session. While the museum is closed, we want to give you all the opportunity to delve into our collections from the comfort of your own home. My name is Sophie and I'm a curator at the museum, and today we're going to be looking at one of our most spectacular paintings, Jan Siberechts' 1698 work, Henley from the Wargrave Road. The image of this is attached to this post, so open it up, grab your cup of tea, take a deep breath, and you can lose yourself in the rolling landscape around Henley as it was over 320 years ago. Jan Siberechts was a Dutch artist, and he came to England in around 1673. He's also regarded as being one of the founders of English landscape painting. And at the time, he was very popular with all the wealthy aristocrats in the area, who wanted him to paint their country estates to demonstrate their wealth and status. Because of this, we also, alongside the views of Henley on Thames, have various bird's eye views from Jan Siberechts, covering country estates including Longleat and Chatsworth that you may be familiar with. In total, there are 6 artworks that we know of that he painted of Henley on Thames and the surrounding countryside. And this includes 2 from this very same vantage point, high up on the Wargrave Road. Now, as you look at the painting, what we today appreciate is the tranquility of the idyllic rural setting that he's painted. But this is actually a record of a bustling commercial setting. If you look a little closer, what you can see is evidence of these commercial activities all around. Just outside Henley, on the banks of the Thames, there are stacks and stacks of timber which would have been felled from the surrounding hills. This would have been ready to ship off down the Thames towards London and on to trading opportunities there. And a lot of this would have been to help rebuild the city following the catastrophic 1666 Great Fire of London, which was just about 30 years earlier. And alongside this, you can also see a lot of evidence of grain production. The harvest is going on and there's a big stack of hay in the cart in the foreground of the image. Henley was the last easily navigable stretch of the River Thames, and so it was a key inland trading centre and port for the agricultural produce of the surrounding areas. Now, the painting was of course made to promote the interests of the wealthy patron who commissioned it, so as I say, to demonstrate their wealth and status. But it still gives us a fascinating insight into the landscape of Henley so many years ago. And of course there are still echoes that can be seen and familiar sights in there. If you look at the broader landscape around Henley, there's a central hill just behind the town, and to the right, the valley there carries the River Thames as it flows on towards Hambleden and then on to London and ultimately the sea. Whereas to the left of that central hill, you can see behind Henley, we can't see it in this picture, but behind Henley the road leads out in the gap up the straight and ancient Fairmile Road. Anyone familiar with Henley will likely be very familiar with this road, and that leads on and away to pretty little Nettlebed, and then ultimately, lost in the misty blue hills behind, Oxford. So that gives you a little bit more information and understandings of this fabulous painting by Jan Siberechts, Henley from the Wargrave Road. Do come back next week to escape with us again and discover more items from the River and Row Museum's collection.